Hey everybody, how you doing? Just wanted to come on and talk to you guys a little bit tonight. I didn't do a from the stone this morning. I had some other things that were actually planned, so I wasn't able to get on and do any of that stuff. I hope you guys are doing okay. I might try to get out to the stone tomorrow. I hope everybody's doing really well, and I hope that you guys are having a great time of day, whatever time it is. For all those new to the Druid Circle, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I guess I wanted to start by introducing myself. I'm Druid, Nicholas Klein, founder of Druid Circle, Druid Order of Blessed Stone and Wood, and Druid University. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about understanding the complexities of living in the city as a Druid. And a lot of people are like, well, wait, you live in the city as a Druid? Well, a Druid isn't, like I said, a place, or Druid isn't a location. It's a way of life, right? So you bring Druidism where you go. You bring Druidism where you are, and you bring that to others. I have an app, and the app is called Citizen. And the cool thing about Citizen is it lets you know basically all the stuff that is going on in the city. It lets you know, like, crimes and reports and things like that. So this morning I was looking. I was like, you look in the morning and see what took place at night, and you're looking at all the crime, and you're looking at all the negative stuff happening, and and I think the app is a pretty good app. I think it's a nice app, and it because it lets you know what's actually taking place, but it also puts a damper into your good outlook for that day. One of the things that we remember as Druids is we remember that as sorcerers, we have a complex sort of protection space around us, right? And we get that from the source. We get that source, that force, that course. And I think that really is the essence of what a sorcerer is and what Druidry is. And listening to those sorts of reports that you get on Citizen and other apps like that, look out. There's all kinds of apps that do this. I think that when we talk about these things, when we talk about what it means to be Druid, is such that it isn't that we don't fear. It's just that we don't allow any negative things to really allow that to interrupt or intercept our life. And that's what I want you to do too. I want you to remember that if you're looking into Druidism, it's not about spells and spells and spells. You want that sort of course, you want to do that's another path, and that's something that I have no clue on as a Druid, so I can't really tell you what that's about. I don't know much about Wiccan or any of that stuff, but we don't really do spells. Druids don't really use them. We're more, I guess, into the alchemic, into the science and things like that, but we're not going to go to, say, like Llewellyn's and pick out a spell from a spell book and use it. We don't do that. So there's a lot of misconceptions, because as sorcerers we are of the source, and therefore we radiate safety. We radiate that sort of safety for our own, but recognize that source comes from somewhere higher than us. And so when I got onto the phone today, and about 10 minutes before, there was a stabbing about 3 blocks away, and that's kind of common ground. That's like, I mean, it's Philly, it's a socialist city, and you're going to get that in most socialist cities. I mean, look at Chicago and Baltimore, and the corruption there. But we just don't allow that stuff to intercept our life. We don't allow that stuff to interrupt our happiness. And I think that that's what a lot of people like doing. They like to disrupt. They like to interrupt. They like to, if you're happy and you're glad and you're having a wonderful time, there are people out there that are going to be there to stop that happiness and interrupt that Druid circle around you. If you allow that to happen and you allow those people to do that to you, then you're not acknowledging Source. You're not acknowledging the gods or the God of your understanding. And what you're saying in I guess a nutshell is that you're saying that those powers don't exist. And whether or not I'm not going to argue that there is something beyond us, because there is something beyond us. And I think that's really a problem today when we deal with when we deal with beliefs and troublesome beliefs where there is nothing else out there and you die and you're done. There's no way that that's possible. There's no way that there is no source. There is no way that there is no force. There is no way that there is no course. And I understand I used the double negatives for all that, but you know what I meant. So I think that if we think about what we want in life and that protection that we want around us, when we look at apps like Citizen and things like that, where this knife attack for like 3 or 4 people was just 3 blocks away from where I'm at right now, we end up thinking about our own safety. If you look back on my own life, and you look back on my own path, even from when I started the page, when this page was actually called Naklas Declan, it was a path that I took that I really said, what is it that I want? What is it that I really want to get out of this? And that was just simply to share knowledge with everybody. And I have been. And I've been documenting it to show that I'm not a person here that's in it for the short term. I'm not a person here that's in it for, what my friend calls insta-witches, or what I call soy druids. Eating avocado toast in the morning. But I think that that's a brilliant idea. Let's use all the tequila plants for sweetener, and use agave. That's a great sustainable way of living. But my point is that if you really want to think about where you want to be in life, and you really want to think about what you want to be in life, and you really want to think about that space of protection, that circle of protection, I think that my thoughts of this is that you can be protected if you believe that force is so strong that no matter what happens, you will be protected. No matter what occurs, you will be protected. I'm walking here right now, and I blanked out my mind because of the very fact that it is a way for no negativity to happen. Now, the minute that I begin to enter into other concepts and say, wait a second, that could happen to me. When I start entertaining those sorts of thoughts, that's when that circle of protection, that's when that Druid circle starts disappearing around you. And if we continue to say, that doesn't exist, that higher force doesn't exist, the gods don't exist, they're just all myth. Well, myth means truth, so I guess they are all truth. I don't doubt the gods one bit. And y'all know I came from a very strong Catholic background, so what I mean by that is that I have many sources that I claim as entities and deities that I believe to be true, and that there is an All-Father, and for me that All-Father is Odin. But that's, you call it what you want to call it. Druids aren't ones to always state what they believe theosophically. They work with other Druids that are of similar mind and of similar heart and of similar soul and of similar spirit that they believe to be of good person. And then they share that knowledge with those people. You know, when I was on the political path and I, was uber, political, and I had a talk with Jill Stein. She said to me, talk to people who, if you one of the groups of people you want to avoid are people who adamantly disagree with you. And that's a really wise thought, speak to people who you think are in sort of disagreement. But on this journey, I will say this, that this is my path, and I share it with you, so, it is to be respected, because I do put a lot of time and effort into this, and I want you to understand that I'm not just here to, dress up like one of those, Renaissance fair druids, because they're not druids. Most of them are Catholic priests, but most of them are Protestant reverends that are universal Unitarians. It's not what a Druid is. A Druid is much greater, a Druid is more powerful, and a Druid is much more close, or closer to the infinite. If you want to be in tune with the infinite, if you want to have that circle of protection, and you don't want to have to worry about those apps like Citizen, like I was talking to you about before, then I think it might be important for you to realize that one of the things to say is, and think about, is how much do you trust your circle? How much is it that how do you trust, how much do you trust to know that power is so strong that it is around you, and to be thankful and gracious for it at every single minute of the day? If you aren't doing ritual every day, if you aren't doing some sort of a practice every day where you're honoring that which is the Holy of Holies, then I would say that you're losing the ability in some sort of way, shape, or form in connecting and communing with the ethereal. And if you want to be one with the ethereal, if you want to be one with that sort of energy, then the only way that happens is if you actively try to do it every day. If you actively try to use it every day. And I don't know about you, but magic is real. And I always say that all magic is undiscovered science, and all the occult is undiscovered knowledge. You guys can take it from there. But it's not, third and fourth wave witches. It's not feminist. When I say feminist, I'm not talking about like feminists like, first and second wave feminists who actually fall for equality. I'm talking about people who want equity and revenge, who want white men dead, who want men in general dead, who want to eat babies. But I would say that we're really serious when it comes to this sort of life. They're not druids. They're just like a lot of people say, they're insta druids, and you can't literally tell me that is real, because it isn't. if we think about, what we talked a little bit about tonight, we talked about the fact that your circle of your circle of druidry, your circle of your druid circle that's around you is something that you need to that's something that you need to respect. That's something you need to really honor. That's something you really need to keep in mind. And if you do that daily, day in, day out, and you do your morning ritual, and you get up, and you exercise, if you especially living here, like I said, my building is like right over there, and I'm like in the center of anything. When the shift happens and communism takes over here in this liberal city, well, I'll probably be the first to go down as a very conservative individual. They don't like my kind, but that's okay. One thing I do know is this. One thing that I do know is that if you stay true to who you are, if you stay true to what you believe to be true, you will never have to worry about anything. That's my word. That's the word. I might do it from the stone tomorrow, talking more seasonally, but that's just my Druidic thought for the time being, and I'll put this into Druidic Thoughts on the YouTube. Have a great night, everybody. Whatever time of night it is, whatever time of day it is, make it great, and know that when you live a life like this, you have to live it in a conservative way, because if you're living it any other way, you're not being true to the old ways. Have a good one. Gidawin. Betshegora. Estle mogwi. Tasehi for. Take it easy. Bye bye now.